In this video, we're going to be looking at a pretty special Toyota Corolla. This is Adam, and this is his AE86. Adam, tell us a little bit about this beauty that you brought in today.
Well, as you said, it's an AE86. It's a 1984 model. It's known as a Trueno Sprinter. It's a Japanese import. I've had it for about 5 years, and in that time, I've completely gutted it to a bare shell and restored it basically to what you see here today. It's only been on the road a couple of days.
Wow, okay.
And obviously I came up to Tweeks to get all the suspension sorted out. You're not too far away from me, you're about an hour away, so.
But you were telling me obviously about the import side of things. So this has got a pretty special and interesting past, has it not?
It's not like just a run-of-the-mill one. It's nothing like crazy, but it's to people who know these cars, it's probably fairly interesting to them. The car was a Garage Shapple car, and it came over in 2006. And when it came over, it had what is known as an N2 kit, and it's not really a kit. It's just 4 arches that bolt on, and you cut the arches out to give more, so you could have a wider, fatter tyre on it.
Right,
but when it came over, it came with a 4AG 16 valve, but it had side draft carbs on it. It had that racy sort of vibe to it, but it was still fundamentally a road car.
Yeah.
It had a different interior, cage and stuff like that stripped out. Obviously that was maybe coming up to 20 years ago, and if not before. So a lot of the parts and things over the years before I had it, they went missing, or the engine was replaced with a standard engine, lost all the carbs.
Yeah.
And then once I actually got it, it required a lot of, like the engine needed work, the diff needed work, the gearbox was broken, everything wasn't right, and it required the car to literally be stripped down.
Yeah.
And once you start stripping a car down, I put a different engine. It's the same engine, but it's not the original engine to this car.
Yeah.
But it's an original Corolla engine.
How'd you go about finding something like that? Because obviously, they're not made anymore.
No.
You can't just go into a shop like Tweeks and pick up a new engine for an old car. So how does that work?
Well, luckily this engine this car isn't common in the UK compared to, say, an MR2, a Mark 1 MR2, but the Mark 1 MR2 used the same engine. The only difference being, because this is rear-wheel drive and MR2's sideways, the plenum and everything's different. So as long as you've got the bolt-on bits from an AE86, you can make an MR2 engine rear-wheel drive. This one is actually from another AE86, an import one. So it's a Japanese engine. It's basically stock. So it's stock wiring loom, ECU. The only thing that is different is the 4-branch manifold, custom exhaust, and some HT lead. Soon to be an air filter, just not on at the moment. But other than that, it's a stock 130 brake horsepower engine. I've had it gone through, so it's all rebuilt. It's all, drives really well. I guess gives a good fuel economy, especially at this time. And then, mods-wise, it's standard with a aftermarket aluminium radiator.
Yeah, I can see that. Mishimoto.
Most of the money is just mainly spent on it costs a lot of money just to refresh those parts and buy new everything. I'm really keen on the generation of 90s Japanese cars, from Option and Best Motoring and any of those sort of videos. I used to watch them a lot, and I've had Corollas since that sort of mid-2000s time.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the pinnacle of what they are and what they look like and the best time they were. So I've tried my best to sort of recreate that. With that being said, that's why it's still got the stock bumpers on the front and the rear, as opposed to a big fiberglass body kit like a lot of drift versions of it have. And then you've got the iconic Speedstar Racing Mark II front wheels and Mark III rear wheels.
Yeah.
They're a 14x9 minus 13 all round. Obviously the arches have been widened on the front, just rolled out. The rear's got D-Max over fenders. Not my ideal choice, but because of the N2 kit that was on it, the arches have been cut out, so I didn't have much option to and skill level to sort of re-weld and reform meld. It was much easier to just bolt on those for me.
I think that still looks pretty cool.
It brings the width of the car out a little bit. So even a 9J would be perfect for a rolled arched A86, but I don't want a massively wide wheel because I still want to have it low and stretch tyre look. It's got the Trueno front end. It's got the Goodline bonnet. Which is an iconic 90s sort of aero, and then obviously it's got a run-free hatch, which has got the whole TRD.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
Yeah, so normally the hatch finishes squared off at the back. It just has a little black neoprene plasticky lip on it. But this is a completely fiberglass hatch. It's all glass, all still glass.
Yeah.
But this is an N2 TRD style wing, which is molded into the fiberglass, not like from Run 3 themselves. And then like it's an early spec car, so it's known as a Trueno Sprinter GTV, but it's got late spec Trueno rear lights.
Yeah, you were explaining how difficult it is to find lights for this car now that match.
It's just like it's just genuinely like parts for them. Since I've had them, they've really soared up in price, and not just price, but like the accessibility of being able to find them, you know, in the UK.
I can see inside, obviously you've got the cage still fitted, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Still kind of got those little like race car vibes going on. I really like that. And obviously some chassis bracing. I noticed the strut brace at the front as well.
Yeah, I mean that's again, it's like it's not madly, modified. This is pretty much what you see a lot of Corollas like this. A lot of them come in the UK. They don't have the interior, the rear interior and stuff like that. And a lot of them come with roll cages because a lot of them, they are cheap cars or were cheap cars. That means that a lot of them have been used as track cars or drift cars. And to find one that's got a full interior, low mileage from Japan, they're getting pretty expensive. So you get what you're given. I have got a full interior for it. I just prefer it looking like that, really. If
it was mine, I would keep it exactly that way.
Yeah,
exactly
like I said before, like trying to keep that 90s vibe, other than like I said, the over fenders, I think it's pretty much there.
Yeah.
It's got the quintessential like Nardi steering wheel, bride, or brid, some people say, I think bride. Reclining seat, checkered carpets, stock passenger seat. It does have door cards, they're just not on. Yeah, it's just how I just, like I said before, had the arches on, and a lot of people I know, they say, oh, you shouldn't have got rid of the arches, and I agree with them. But like at the end of the day, I just prefer this look of a car. You can't always live in the past. You've got to like make it your own. I wanted to put my own stamp. That's the whole reason I bought the car, was to learn to do the paintwork myself, did the welding myself, did everything, majority of it myself. I've got a good friend who helped me, John. He helped me do a lot of the final bits that just were a bit like out of my comfort zone. But yeah, it's I love it.
I think that's even better to the story, that you learn on the job.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how long it takes. If you enjoy it and it's a passion, then you should do it. Like, and this is the perfect example of that. And the fact that it is still bare, if you like, inside, for me that really works, because you can see that attention to detail. Where can we see it? Where are you taking it?
I'll be taking it to, there's a caffeine machine on the 9th of July. That's my mission, to sort of get it to that, which I'm going to do, as long as it doesn't, fingers crossed, blow up or have any catastrophic failures. But yeah, it's good to go now, and I'm just going to enjoy it, really. Try and take it out, enjoy it. I love it.
If you want to see more of Adam's car, we'll leave a link to his Instagram in the description below. If you are building a sort of nuts and bolts restoration of any car, really, we can pretty much guarantee to have some parts to suit. So do check them out on the website. We will leave some links to some of the parts that you've seen on Adam's car in the description below. And if you've liked this video and you want to see more of what goes on in our fitting centre, and amazing cars like Adam's that people bring down almost every day here, do like this video, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.